So it's been a rainy week after Thanksgiving. Cleaned out a bunch of the fittings. Turns out that oh, my camera is dirty. I guess that's probably what I get for throwing it in my pocket and stuff. So this ended up being a sensor, and the pipe right here for this one, I thought I lost the elbow, but it ended up finding it. So it's a flat faced. So I got to clean these right here out, so when I put it on there, it got no gunk in it. So the deal was, or the issue was, that the plate that bolts into right somewhere here, I forgot where it's bolted, it directly bolts into the side, or at least I hope. So I'm thinking it was this one, the flat faced, which was this one. The O-ring that I got replaced right there was leaking, and then it was leaking down the pack, and it was leaking on the track. So he said it wasn't leaking. So stuff like this, I was going to try to get all this stuff out, which, you know, it builds up heat and all that. So I finally found this. I actually found where I put all the stuff at, all the fittings. This ended up not being a plug that I had. I thought it was a plug, but it's actually a temp sensor. And then I was going to run it. I actually got the right fluid. Freaking toolbox fell over again. So that's what we had to do out of the other one, was cut it, because the insert. So it's not 46. I actually cleaned the bucket out. So he's got bulk fluid. So it's supposed to be like water, was the reason why I was putting in the yellow bucket for the hydraulic fluid. This is a tractor hydraulic fluid that I got. Not sure the weight, because I couldn't find a weight on it, but I was told to put THF fluid, THF Chevron 1000 for these. So that was the reason why I could only run it for about 20 to 30 minutes and it'd get hot, just because it's a lot thicker, way thicker. So I have to take the fluid out. So I was going to run it through, and it takes 7 gallons. So I was going to go ahead and get the fittings cleaned up around the edges, and then put everything back in and check everything. So that way I can get it going. I'm gonna run it around a little bit. So luckily I found this, because that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid that I'd have problems. Now I gotta figure out where the sensor harness is at for this. So it's a 2-plug. Then I gotta figure out these right here. So I think the Harbor Freight variety kit is not spec for hydraulic fluid, so it's probably for like water and plumbing crap, so, which is not good, but hopefully I can get this running. And I thought about putting a mulcher on the front of it, but I don't know if it'll be good or not. I was told not to, so, but there's a little bit of things I need to do to it, but I'd like to get it fixed today. All right, so I got the tank on, in a way. It's just flopping here. I got the fittings on. I think the hardest one was that one right there. It don't move. It moves, but it don't flex how you need it to. And then there's that one right here. It's like a 3/8. And then this big boy right here is pretty sure, 100% sure, the one leaking, because the plate's leaking up here. So it was clean about that far from the top. So pretty sure this is how it goes. And then somehow, some way, I lost one of the bolts. But I do have the nut. So as long as it's the same length and strength, so we should be good. I could have swore it. I put everything inside. I'm gonna clean the filters out while I can. It does need a service. So I gotta get the top out of it's actually the cap holder. So I got to get this piece off the top, but I'm gonna go ahead. I had it right here. That's the reason why there's a big old freaking stain here. I figured that's where the bolt fell off, and I can probably look under here because I started pushing, so I may be sitting on top of it, but I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. The only thing that needs to be fixed, I'd say fairly quicker, would be the emergency brake on it, but it never moved once you get that boom down, unless you're on a slope or something like that. I can understand. But I got the tank all fitted back on her, which that center one down there was the hardest, just because it was freaking that big around, and then I can only get my fingertips on it to turn it. It was also very gritty and dirty, so I got to get lined back up and then find a bolt to put that plate back on. Alright, so before it gets too dark, I'm going to show you that I got some of the fluid. I accidentally left the truck like this, and my toolbox fell off, and so did this. This was 5 gallons, that one's over 5 gallons. It was $346 for the fluid, and because it's the good stuff. So I got the tank on, but my problem was, dude, it was just something else. Then I got the bracket on, which it's got a gap underneath it, and I don't freaking know why, but I guess once I get fluid in it, it's going to be pretty heavy. It may fall down, and it's just got a gap underneath it, and it's kind of irritating. But I forgot to put the bracket on underneath it, and it was a pain because I put a, where'd it go? One of the pocket screwdrivers, and then shoved it underneath to that second bracket over there, which it looks easy. It's about middle way. I just stuck it under there, and then I literally just turned it 2 notches. I got lucky. So I get lucky on kind of stuff like that. Got it on there, so all I got to do is I got this wedged because I kept wanting to fall down. So I got a screwdriver wedging it down. So I got everything flat and everything tightened up, the bracket tightened up. Then I got to put the cap piece back on. I probably should have my little cover in there, but I didn't. So now I'm gonna get that in there, get the fluid in there, and I'm actually gonna clean this out because I didn't clean it out since the last time we used it on that one job. So then I'll put the fluid in it. I may go ahead and put the fluid in it now. Put a funnel in there, get it going, and then try it out. So hopefully I can do that before it gets dark. so far so good with this thing. I left it like this, moved it in a new location. Of course, everything over there where I park all my equipment, it's got leaks and stuff. So I mean, there's no leaks. It drifts about right in here on the back two grips. I mean, it's no leaks so far. And the thing finally sit down, so everything's nice and tight, because it did have a gap like that much, but now I guess getting it warm or something like that, or using it, I guess. You know, I was picking this up, moving it around. I got this fitting right here. We used it on the job. It leaks, so I've got to get it fixed. It's probably about a $20 fitting. This is one of the attachments. I'm not sure, it's like a little hitch plate. I like it a lot. It does really good with the adjustable hitch. Does really good. And I've got a bucket, and then this hitch piece, and then the grapple. I do need to rig something up for this, because every time it gets right in here and it squeezes there's a few spots you can see where it's grabbed it. We didn't use it due to this track falling off, and I finally got it back on, then took that off just because I could. I mean, I could use it with it leaking, but why do that? Because it was costing me money. But also the hydraulic, after you use it about 30 minutes, the hydraulic temp was going off. See, it's one of these, I think it was that one. It would be loud, like a backup alarm. And then I had to use this because the cables broke right here, so they ain't used it, and then it kept falling down. So, but so far so good. I used it for probably about an hour, so I'm very happy about how this is. And then show you my little, this is all welded together on there. Air compressor, got that for when it's cold. So when it's the cutting torches. So yeah.